What's going on, everybody? It's Ricky with Videohomicide, back with another movie review / recommendation. Today we're going to go back to the year 2001 to take a look at a film directed by J. Chandrasekhar, and that film is Supertroopers. Man, let me tell you something. It's 2001. That makes me 9 years old. I remember the fucking commercials for this movie, the previews, the trailers. And everybody knew the line, you know, like, he's already pulled over. He can't pull over any further. And all that shit, and the guy in the back seat eating all the dope and the mushrooms and all that shit, which comes back later on in the film. Which honestly, it had been so long since I watched this movie, I forgot how it ended. So I was like I knew how it ended, like with the cops and being the drug connection and all that stuff. But I was like, what happens after that? And so when they're dragging that keg of beer up the stairs, I'm like, well, you know, I'd seen Super Troopers 2, but to me it was very forgettable. It was not like Super Troopers 1 in terms of goodness, or another one of the films that this comedy troupe, Broken Lizard, put together. They put a movie out called Beer Fest, which is also really good. I'm due to rewatch that. And they put out a slasher flick sometime in the mix, like 2005, 2006-ish, called Club Dread. Bill Paxton was in it, you know, fucking Hudson from Aliens, of course, or Bill from Twister, you know, F5, Finger of God. You know, I've just been wanting to watch these. I've been watching a lot of comedy lately. You know, I've been trying to fucking laugh my ass off as much as possible. So last night, I pretty much watched like 45 minutes of this flick, and watched the rest like sporadically. Like today, gotta say, absolutely. I thought this movie was awesome when I was a kid. Didn't really understand the whole thing because, again, I was very young. But when I watched it now, I was like, man, this is just out of control. Like, I can specifically remember watching this when I was a kid. I don't know who I was with. Might have been my friend Mike. But the scene where the two cops go into the burger joint and he orders the burger. And as soon as he says, yeah, I want a double cheeseburger. And Buddy on the other end goes, yeah, double cheeseburger, please. It's for a cop. He's like, what is he going to spit in it? And then when he eventually gets the burger and he takes the lid off, and he says to his buddy, he's like, does that look like spit to you? And he goes, yeah. And he's like, fuck it, and eats it. But the thing that pisses him off, not the spit on his burger, but the fact that, like, in Canada, Tim Hortons is a coffee chain. They have a thing called Roll Up the Rim. McDonald's has a thing where it's like Monopoly, where, like, you peel something off, you win a prize. So he goes to peel off his prize, and it sabotage pops, spurts out. This is the thing that cracked me up. When he asked for a liter of cola, he's like, a liter of cola? Like, to me, it's just the way he says it. I think that Farva, the guy that played Farva, I think him and Jay, who also stars in the film and directed it, he's the, like, Indian dude. I think those two guys are my favorite out of the Broken Lizard tribe or comedy troupe. But when he says, like all this shit about the liter of cola, which it shouldn't even be like that funny, but to me, I just was laughing my balls off, especially when Jay, the other cop, he says, he goes, just ask for a large, man. And he's like, no, it sounds better. It's French. Liter of cola. And the guy's like, liter of cola. This is total, like, pothead film. You know what I mean? Like, you either are going to laugh your ass off or you're going to think this is fucking dumb. But this movie, I wouldn't say suffers, but I feel like the best part of it happens at the beginning of the film with the pullover of these three teenagers, and they're really fucking with them, and, you know, asking for the driver's license and registration, all that shit, and then just, like, taking off. And, like, these guys think they're off the hook, and the one dude's in the back eating all the dope. He eats, like, a fucking, like, half ounce of dope and a bunch of mushrooms. Like, you're gonna be cooked, but, like, you're not gonna be cooked that fast. Like, he basically goes like, oh, I'm stoned. It's like, no. It's not gonna be that fucking quick. But that, I think, is my favorite moment of the film. Probably, like, what would you say, like 15 minutes of the beginning. I think that is like what hooks you in. And that's not to say there's not, like, hilarious parts throughout this film, because there is. It's just, I think that opener is very much like, god damn, this is dope. Other memorable scenes, of course. I don't know why I think this is hilarious, but they're sitting in a diner, like, chugging syrup, maple syrup. And, you know, basically, if you don't know the story of this film, I assume you do if you're watching this video, but, like, if you don't know the story, it's about these highway cops, and they end up finding a bunch of this dope, and then at the same time, this murder is found by the local cops, so it's like state highway patrol versus the cops, and they're sort of going back and forth with each other. Obviously, it ends up the cops are in cahoots with the drug dealers and stuff. But they have sort of an interesting way, or interesting thing that I always thought was cool. Like, they have this little logo of like a monkey, and I forget the name of the monkey, Johnny something, but he's basically like this cartoon character of a monkey with a straw hat and like a banana for a dick, and he goes to or he's from a Afghani cartoon or something, and like there's a scene where like they're all getting fucked up like watching the cartoon, and it's just twisted. And Brian Cox is actually in this film, who was the first guy to play Hannibal Lecter in Manhunter, which is a great film. Michael Mann directed that flick. Manhunter is basically the same story as Red Dragon, which I also think is fucking awesome. I'm a sucker for those Hannibal Lecter films. I love them all. I've never watched the show, but I love all the movies for the most part. I think Hannibal, the film Hannibal itself, it might be my least favorite. I know that could be blasphemy to some. Obviously, Silence of the Lambs is the best, but back to Super Troopers anyway. I think that because this movie came out like at a certain point in my life, much like a bunch of other crazy stuff did, Grand Theft Auto 3, Super Troopers. I talked about a movie recently on the channel that it was another flick from that year. It's just like, this is the stuff that really shaped my my tastes in terms of like comedy and shit like that. Because when I'm like drawing my comics, for instance, which are like humor comics, I'm like sitting there going like, what inspires me? You know, what inspired this? Like, why do I think this is funny? And like, I owe it to like movies like Super Troopers, shows like Trailer Park Boys, Chappelle's Show, all that kind of stuff. There was a lot of what you might call naughty films coming out back then. Harold and Kumar, of course, Jay and Silent Bob. A lot of stoner comedies really shaped this guy's sense of humor. So we're lucky to have a lot of good movies come out like that, though, back in the day. So, you know, no complaints really. I mean, there was a lot of really kind of mediocre movies, but every once in a while you'd get a flick like Grandma's Boy, which I think was about 2006, which is the year that I started high school. But if you've not seen Grandma's Boy, definitely check that flick out. If I can find it real fast, I'll show it. There it is right there. Grandma's Boy was one of those flicks that starred all of the dudes that like hang out with Adam Sandler. So this is a really good hand done poster, but this is a great stoner comedy from 2006. Yeah. So again, I know this movie's not for everybody. And even like, if you want to get even more crazy, like movies like Dirty Work, you know, and to go even more extreme, movies like Artie Lang's Beer League. Like, check out if you want to watch like a movie that does not give a fuck who it offends, watch Artie Lang's Beer League. There's a hilarious scene where Artie Lang plays on this beer league baseball team. He goes up to his buddy who's a black dude, and he's like, hey buddy, I stopped using the N-word and all this. And he goes, oh, that's great. And he goes, yeah, listen how I tell this joke now. And he's like, a priest, a rabbi, and an N-word. And then the dude is just like, man, like, come on, settle down, Artie. Really good stuff. But again, you can't make a movie like Artie Lang's Beer League today because there's just too much, slurs at this point. People are very pussified in this era, so you can't really have a movie like Super Troopers either. Like, Super Troopers is sort of like, it's not like overtly raunchy or anything like that. It's just an explicit movie, and like, I don't know, like, it's showing the cops do like really crazy shit. Like, I love all of the like the games that these cops play with the people they pull over. You know, like the one guy, he's like, how many times can you say meow to this guy? And he goes like, meow, how you doing? Like, it's fucking jokes, man. But again, not for everybody, but for me, this was like a big deal back then. Like, same with Freddy Got Fingered, which I don't know if I've made a video on the channel about that flick, but I definitely have to, because Freddy Got Fingered is another one that's very inspirational to me, not only with the fucked up humor, but also like the guy's ambition. Like, all he wanted to do was be a cartoonist and animator. He wanted to be like Charles Schultz. Love Freddy Got Fingered, by the way. So expect a review on that soon enough. When I rewatch that, I'd like to rewatch it with my dad, because we watched that movie so many times growing up. And like the whole like daddy, like, daddy, would you like the daddy, would you like some sausages thing? Like, that's what people remember that film for, but that's not even close to why I remember that movie. I remember that movie for like everything else, everything that like Rip Torn says in that flick, I think is out of control. You know, when he goes downstairs and he's like telling his son to fuck him and all this, like not like actually, but and then the mom sees it and she fucking, you know, she takes off in a cab and Tom Green says to her, oh, you know, you shouldn't put up with this. You should go sleep with basketball players. At the end of the flick, she's sleeping, I think it was with Shaq or I'm pretty sure it was Shaq, but anyways, we're all over the fucking place here. But I also want to make a quick announcement for anybody interested. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a full-on 31 Days of Horror this year, but I have something that's about... It's going to make for an interesting, fun video. So, like I said, I'm not going to do the full 31 because that's just... It's hard to do that, man. Honestly, it's hard to... And I'm sort of like running out of like mainstreamy stuff to talk about. So I'd pretty much have to resort to shit. Like last year, I believe it was last year, might have been the year before, I attempted to do all the video nasties, but I ended up only doing like maybe 10 of them. Some of them are hard to get through, like not because I'm like afraid, but because it's like, this is god awful, you know? Anyways, I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure you leave a 666 in the comments. And with that being said, adios. Take a liter of cola.